Okay, so if you're working with Kubernetes, you have absolutely run into the automation question. It's this core dilemma that pretty much every single team faces sooner or later. And today, we are going to break it all down.
So, what are your choices? Well, it really seems to come down to three paths. You can stick with simple scripts, you can adopt the ever-popular Helm, or you can go all in and build your very own custom operator. This is a huge decision for any platform team.
But here's the catch. On the surface, this looks like a straightforward technical decision, right? But in the real world, it's anything but. The path you pick has these massive, cascading effects on your team's speed, the reliability of your system, and honestly, your own sanity.
So let's dive into the first stop on this journey, the one most people make. Let's talk about the simple script.
It's just instinct, isn't it? You've got some task you have to do over and over again. Maybe a deployment, maybe updating a certificate. So what do? You whip up a quick script. It's fast, it feels productive, and for a little while, it actually works pretty well. But this is where the cracks start to show. That beautiful simplicity is perfect for a one-off job. But the second you need to scale that up or add any real complexity, those same scripts, they become incredibly brittle. They're a nightmare to maintain, and they have zero context of what's actually happening inside the cluster. And this story just hits the nail on the head. We found an engineering team who was trying to manage all of their SSL certificates with scripts, because, the standard tools just didn't work for their private setup. The result? They called it a patchwork of half-baked automation. It got so bad they had to scrap it all and build a dedicated operator just to get it right. The scripts just couldn't handle the pressure. So when that patchwork of scripts finally collapses under its own weight, and it almost always does, teams start looking for a better way. And that usually leads them right to the next step on the ladder, Helm. And you can totally see why. I mean, Helm is super popular for a reason. It's declarative, it's pretty simple to get going, and the documentation is fantastic. If your whole world is just about packaging up and deploying a static set of Kubernetes resources, Helm feels like the absolute perfect solution. But, and this is a huge but, Helm is not a magic wand. It's not a continuous management engine. It applies your configuration when you run an install or an upgrade, and that's it. It doesn't sit there watching the cluster, making sure things stay the way they're supposed to. It's basically a fire and forget tool, not an active thinking manager. And you want to see where this limitation really hurts? Check this out. A team was trying to deploy large language models using Helm, but they had all these complex needs, things like smart model caching and GPU-aware scheduling. That kind of dynamic, intelligent logic is just way, way beyond what Helm's templating can do. They hit a wall, hard. And this is that critical moment. It's the point where a team realizes that to get the automation they really need, they have to go deeper. This is what we call the operator moment.
So what in the world is a Kubernetes operator? Well, the easiest way to think about it is like building your own custom brain inside the cluster. It's a controller that you write using custom resources that you define to manage your specific applications. You're basically encoding your team's operational wisdom, all those runbooks and manual steps, directly into software. Which brings us to the big question, right? The one that this whole thing is about. When do you actually need to build one? When does the problem get big enough that you have to take this leap? Well, it turns out there are 4 really clear signals. 1, you need ongoing reconciliation, something that is always watching, always fixing. 2, you need to talk to external systems, like a cloud provider's API. 3, you want to build a reusable self-service tool for other people in your company. And 4, the most important one, the pain of not building one is just too high. Okay, let's be clear. Building an operator is a serious engineering project. It's not something you do on a Friday afternoon. So what's the real price you pay for all of this incredible power? This timeline from one team's journey is just amazing. It shows the super steep learning curve, but a huge payoff. Their very first operator took them 3 months to build. The second one? 3 weeks. Now, with all that experience and some help from AI coding tools, they can spin up a production-ready operator in just 3 days. Wow.
And performance is another huge piece of the puzzle. One team built a prototype in Python, which was super fast to write, but it was a memory hog. We're talking 600 megs of RAM. When they rewrote it in Go for production, that memory usage dropped all the way down to just 100 megs. That's a 6x improvement.
But let's get back down to earth for a second. The maintenance is real. You've got to keep libraries up to date, test for breaking changes. You have to dedicate time to it. As one developer put it so perfectly, building an operator isn't a huge amount of work if you have a team dedicated to it. But if you don't, it's a massive burden.
All right, so let's put this all together. Let's create a really simple framework, a kind of gut check you can use to make the right call for your situation. Here it is. It's this simple. If you just have a one-off task, a script is totally fine. Don't overthink it. If you need repeatable, static deployments, Helm is your best friend. But if you're managing a system with dynamic state, if you're talking to external services, if you want to create that real Kubernetes native magic, then yeah, the operator path is calling your name. Ultimately, what this all comes down to is that this isn't just a technical decision. It's a strategic one. It's about aligning your automation strategy with where your team and your entire platform are headed.
And I want to leave you with this really powerful idea from one company's founder. For them, they made a decision. They decided Kubernetes itself should be the single source of truth for their system state. Git is where the code lives, sure, but their custom operators, they do everything else. Now that is a fundamental shift in thinking, and it might just be the future of how we build platforms.